My wife probably likes Hank Jr. more than I do. So it doesn't exactly work, but like Andy said, it's still funny.
So this is the set.
Hey, we're Old Hickory. I'm Dan Alley.
I'm Andy Austin.
And I'm Timothy Baker.
And this is a song called Listen to Hank that we recorded on our Tuesday Nights at Scoreboard album that we released in 2023. I wrote this with Brandon Kinney and Justin Weaver. It was Brandon's idea. He said that he was out in the garage just, drinking and listening to Hank Jr. And his wife came out and said, "What the hell are you doing out here?" And he just said, "I'm listening to Hank." And not that she totally hated it, but it made for a cool song idea. So he listens to me and he takes out the trash, and she loves it when I pick her wild blooms. I can never get home too soon.
I can remember hearing this song before ever, our friendship or anything ever, started, and I was like, damn, that Hank song is really good. And then it's just funny to fast forward, 6 years, 5 years from then to we're singing it now, as a band. It's just really cool to kind of see it, and I've always loved it.
And you're straight, rocking the shades, raising the hell like I'm up on stage. And she'd rather have my Waylon or Willie, and Merle don't turn me hillbilly really. But when I get bent with my rowdy friends, both Cephas cranks, she hates it when I listen to Hank.
For me, it's bluegrass music. I crank it loud and proud, and sometimes my wife doesn't love it as much as I do. And so to me, that's my Hank, So it's like no matter if you go into the garage, drink a few beers, and crank up Hank Jr., you still have something that sort of helps you relate to the song a little bit, I feel like.
Closing time when I got Dixie all over my mind. She worries about me, I tell her I'll survive, 'cause I can skin a buck and run a trot line. But she still hates it when I listen to Hank. My wife probably likes Hank Jr. more than I do, so it doesn't exactly work, but like Andy said, it's still funny. Rocking the shades, raising the hell like I'm up on stage.
We sort of gravitated towards each other because we have similar tastes in music. We liked what each other was writing and playing and stuff. And then that sort of grew to here in town, you play a lot of gigs, either as like an acoustic duo or an acoustic trio or whatever. And so you ask your buddies, hey, you want to hop on this gig with me and play it for 3 hours, And so then that slowly but surely led us to just being super comfortable with each other, playing gigs. It felt natural, It just felt right. And the rest is history, as they say.
Listen to Hank, listen to Hank. And she'd rather have my Waylon or Willie, and the Hank don't turn me hillbilly really. But when I get bent with my rowdy friends, both Cephas cranks, she hates it when I listen to Hank. When I listen to Hank, oh Lord, she hates it now. When I listen to Hank.
If I was not in this band, I would still be fans of both of them. I mean, I tell people all the time, I think Dan is one of the best writers in town, if not the best, and same thing for Tim. I mean, they play songs all the time, weekly, whenever we're gigging, where it's just like, damn, how did you even think of that? And it's executed so well and all that. So I count it a blessing. I look up to them.
I think it'd be boring by yourself.
Yeah.
I think it makes it more fun. Share a little bit of the pressure and the.
After us being in this group together, I understand why there were so many bands in the '70s and stuff, because there's nothing more fun than literally being friends with somebody, but then getting to make music with them. And like Dan said, you're not by yourself.
Well, we have enough time for one more song. We're gonna play you Speed Limit 35. This goes out to anybody from a small town. 2, 3, 4. Kids playing in the front yard with a yellow dog. And I remember there's a white house I could take you to right now that's got a little picket fence around it, and I've seen kids playing in the yard. But it's just...
It's good imagery.
Yeah, I just always wanted to say yellow in a song instead of yellow, or kids playing with a brown dog.
Just doesn't sing it.
Yeah, it doesn't hit as good as kids playing with a yellow dog. So there's one bar, there's one church, there ain't much to do. There's 2 lanes and one thing that we ask of you. When you come into the town of Landis, there you cross over Kannapolis Lake, same place Dale Earnhardt's from, and there's a speed limit 35 sign on the bridge. And I remember seeing that sign, and I was like, damn, what a great way to explain. Talk about a small town. Down window, ain't no such thing as too slow. One trip down Main, and you'll see why. Speed limit's 35.
I think I related to the idea because there's a main street through my hometown is 35 miles an hour, and it's just houses all the way along, and it just seems like nobody goes 35 miles an hour. It's always people just going 20, 25 miles an hour down and going as slow as they can, always.
There's one thing for certain, if you blink, you'll miss it. When you're driving through our little town, take a minute, take a breath, take a look around. You find out there's a whole lot to this map dot if you just stop and hang your head out your roll down window.
I'm from a small town in East Kentucky, and so I can definitely relate to pretty much every line of the song. And even though I wasn't a writer on it, I'm just a little bit jealous, just a little bit. But I think that's one of the cool things about being in a group with 2 guys that are just insanely talented is that it just makes you want to be better.
Any faster, and there's things you'll never see. Any slower, and you'll never want to leave.
If it's a song that we keep coming back to, I think that's sort of how we can determine, okay, this is a song that we all 3 agree is like pretty cool. And 2, it's like if a song just has an opportunity for the harmonies, if it's got stuff in the chorus where we can do our thing, I think that's a big thing that makes it a song that feels like us.
Trip down Main and you'll see why. One trip down Main and you'll see why. Speed limit's 35. Speed limit's 35. Kids playing in the front yard with a yellow dog. Brick sign when you cross the bridge says, welcome y'all. I decided, if there's anywhere you got to go to do country music and learn how to write and all that, you'd rather be in Nashville than anywhere because that's where it's going on and happening. And I told myself, I would rather move here and fail around people that know what they're doing than be told I'm not doing the right thing back home by people that were scared to move in the first place. So that's why I made the move in March of 2018. And there is places that you can find a dirt road and stuff like that to drive down, but you got to have a full tank of gas to get there. I can remember this was back like 2020. Gary from Muscadine, he texted me and he was like, do you know where there's a dirt road in Nashville? And I was like, honestly, dude, I have no idea. And I mean, I'd been everywhere, and they ended up having to go out of town, I think, or going at least 20, 30 minutes outside because there's not any dirt roads.
If Andy doesn't know where it's at, it's not there.
But yeah, so we live out in Lebanon, and that's one of me and my wife's favorite things to do with the kids is hop in the truck on a Sunday and drive around and just explore, waste a tank of gas.
All right, well, I think this is all the time we have tonight. But thank you guys so much for listening to some of our original music and some of the stories behind the songs. We are Old Hickory, and this has been the Nashville Night Sessions.
Good night, Nashville.